Twitch working. Trying to fix YouTube. Come on, YouTube. Ah, fantastic. So this match is just starting, which is really good timing. Just double check everything's working. It looks like it is. Cool. Well, that took 10 minutes longer than it should have. So Barcelona playing 4-3-3 by the looks of it. So Szczesny in goal, successfully escaped Arsenal. Koundé right back, Garcia, I think used to play for Man City. Garcia and Martinez, centre backs. Balde, left back. So is it Balde or is it Baldy? De Jong in midfield. I've seen so much of De Jong recently, considering I just keep on watching Netherlands versus Spain twice. De Jong, Pedri, Gavi, and then speaking of Spain, they've got Lamine is right back, Torres up front, Olmo on the left. Now, in terms of the Osasuna lineup, I'm gonna pretend I know who these people are, and that I'm not just reading this off a list. So they've got Herrera, Areso, Katina, Herendo, Juan Cruz. Midfield, Munoz, Ibanez, Moncayo, and then Arnaiz, Raul Garcia, and Oroz up front. Which is pretty good. Pretty good. Barcelona kicking off then. Torres was running onto a ball, but it didn't quite get to it. Ooh. Herrera taking a goal kick, blasts it up the field. Defended by Martinez. Back to Szczesny. Szczesny to Garcia. Ooh. Lamine coming deep, but kind of loses the ball. That's Pedri on the ball. Pedri plays it left to Balde. Balde back to Pedri. Back to Garcia. Ooh, De Jong. Olmo, sorry, falls over. It's hard to tell the difference between Olmo and De Jong sometimes. I guess Olmo's like the taller version, right? Back out to Olmo. Back to Koundé. Garcia. Ooh, Garcia blasts it up the field, but Osasuna defend it. Ferran Torres gets the ball. Gavi. Back to De Jong. Goes out wide left to Balde. Pedri. Kunde. Torres. Yamal. Ooh, Yamal with a nice through ball to Kunde. Kunde crosses it along the floor and does an awful cross. He was in like 10 meters of space. He could have taken his time and picked someone out, but he just passed it straight to the Osasuna player. It's kind of pointless. Ball goes to De Jong. Chesney. Martinez. Pedri. Pedri moving the ball forward, which is nice to see. Goes out to Kunde. Torres. They lose the ball. Barcelona attacking again, but the keeper kind of saves it. Dean Smith is saying, "Can you please get me your McAllister shirt?" I can. It's upstairs. I can't wear it back to front though, because it hurts my neck. Kunde loses the ball. Barcelona attacking again. Goes to Martinez. Goes to Balde. Balde on the left. Gavi plays it back to Pedri. Kunde. De Jong. Barcelona are passing it around, but they still look dangerous, as weird as that sounds. Balde attempts a cross there, but it goes straight to the keeper. Brianna Jacob asks, "What do you think of Arne Slot's first season?" It's good. Like I know people are still kind of disappointed about the fact that we went out the Champions League. I know people are disappointed about not going further in the FA Cup. I know people are disappointed about what's the other one? About not winning the Carabao Cup final. But if you said to me at the start of the season, you're going to lose Jurgen Klopp and you're not going to really buy anyone, but you'll still win the league, would you take that? And I'd say, yeah, 100%. 100% I'd still take that. So yeah, I think based on that, I'd probably give him at least a 9 out of 10, to be honest. Probably wouldn't give him a 10 out. Maybe even like a 9.5 out of 10, you know. Just for the sheer fact that it looks like he's gonna win the league on his first attempt. And I don't think you can ask much more than that, because he's doing it without his own players as well. So yeah, at least a 9 out of 10 for Slot. Dean Smith wants to see the McAllister shirt. I can get it for you. It's going to take me a minute. So just give me a minute. I will do that. So this is the McAllister shirt. So it's the home shirt. It has Expedia on this left sleeve. I don't know if you can see that properly. What did I have on the right? Not Champions League, Premier League thing on that side, which I think will be gold. Is it gold if you win the league the previous season? I can't remember. And then obviously McAllister on the back. So yeah, it's pretty good. I like the kind of yellow bits. I like the lines on it. So yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice. So, Barcelona attacking again. De Jong moving the ball forward. Goes out to Balde on the left. Ooh, and it's a goal. I think that's Torres. Yeah. Nice cross along the floor by Balde. And then Torres basically slid in, kicked it in the goal. 1-0. 1-0, so I better update this score. Yeah, Barcelona have been playing really well. And it's only been 10 minutes. So De Jong played it on the left. Nobody's closing down Balde on the left. And then he gets a low cross into the box. And Torres just slides in. Easy. 1-0. This is going to be... this is going to be a super kind of high scoring game. I can already tell. So 8 goals for Ferran Torres, which is not bad. Barcelona attacking again. Like, they've literally just scored and they're already attacking again. It's pretty crazy. Defended by Koundé though. Lily Sanderson is asking, how much would you take for Nunes? Again, it's an interesting question because I think if you asked me this before January, I would have said around 40. Like I know we paid let's take a step back. So I know we paid about 64 million, and I know people are saying 85 is 85, but the 85 was with add-ons, um, like winning the Champions League and that sort of thing. So it's probably closer to 64 million. And I doubt he's hit any add-ons like based on goal numbers. So it's probably 64 million. So let's say that we paid 64. Ooh, ball over the top to Torres again. Torres really should have scored that. Yamal played in a ball over the top and then Torres kind of tried to volley it, but the keeper saved it. I just want to see if he's onside. Yeah, he's a mile onside because 5 players were playing him onside. Torres really should have done better there, but he blasted it straight at the keeper. But anyway, yeah, with respect to how much I'd take for Nunes, paid 64 million. I would have perhaps taken 40 minimum, but in reality, a bit more than that because he's still very young. He's still Uruguay's starting striker. So that has some, what's the word? That would kind of increase his reputation a bit. So I would say probably 40, 45 minimum. But the thing is, there was that bid in January from Saudi for about 70 million. Now, I don't know if that bid's going to come again. If it does come again, we should snap their hands off because I don't think he's worth 70 million. But anything over 45 I'd take, and basically whatever the highest is that we get. And none of this loan for a year and then none of that nonsense. Just transfer sorted. No like loan with an obligation to buy and all of that stuff. So yeah, something 45 plus. But if we can get 70, that'd be amazing because you can reinvest that right into the squad. I know a lot of people complain about the ownership, and kind of rightfully so, because they've made a few mistakes, shall we say. But one thing we perhaps can't fault them for is when a player is sold, that money does get reinvested. So when Coutinho was sold for 140, obviously like 70-ish was spent on, 75 was spent on Van Dijk, 65 was spent on Alisson. So yeah, I'd like to see him sold for the good of his career, and I think it's a good break for everyone. But yeah, I'd like to see him sold and the money kind of reinvested. For 70 million, you might be able to get 2 decent players. Probably not these days, but for 50 at least, you should be able to get a good, pretty good player, I think. So Olmo taking a corner now for Barcelona. Got a good feeling about this corner. Olmo takes it. Headed out. Barcelona just look levels above Osasuna, man. Like Osasuna, they clear it, but then Barcelona instantly kind of get the ball back, and they're just so much quicker and they're so much fitter, and they have so much more energy. This is why the Premier League is the best league in the world, I think, because you don't see that level of competitiveness anywhere else. In La Liga, you got Real Madrid, you got Barcelona, few others like your Atleticos and so forth. But rather than, it's like a handful of teams max, and the other 15 are like so-so. Whereas in the Premier League, it's highly competitive. So I think that's one of the areas where the Premier League shines over La Liga. Pedri again, really nice ball over the top. This almost should really score that. I don't know if a penalty has been given. So like Osasuna are insistent on playing this super high line, which they can't play because they're never straight. It's never like a straight line. And so when they play this super high line, players like, yeah, again, Like 4 of the defenders were in a line, but the 5th defender was like 1.5 meters behind, which means you can never play a player offside. So Almo just got into that gap because, as I said, 4 players were playing like a high line, but the 5th defender was super deep. So Almo got in between those two and was therefore onside from the long ball over the top. Olmo just basically ran at the keeper, got the foul, and now it's a penalty. So this is going to be a car crash. I can feel it already. Almost taking the penalty because he won the penalty. I think that's fair enough. Olmo with the penalty, and it's saved. It saves it. Rubbish penalty, to be fair. Pretty much right down the middle, but to the left a little bit. And the keeper just dived the right way. Yeah, awful penalty. It was at the right height as well. Kind of like knee height. So, yeah. It's very difficult to score from that type of a height, shall we say. I don't know if they're going to retake it. I don't know what they're faffing about with, but it looks like they might be retaking it. I think they might be retaking it because it looks like a defender kind of ran forward a bit too early. That's funny, isn't it? So it looks like it looks like Olmo is gonna get a second opportunity to try and score this. It looks like he might be kind of shooting the same way, but let's see. Does shoot the same way, but this time it's much better penalty. It's along the floor, it's right in the corner. So it's 2-0. Like Barcelona are gonna score like a new goal every 10 minutes, I swear. So this is probably gonna be like 9-0 at this point. Much better penalty. They're just replaying the penalty now. Yeah, along the floor. Not quite in the corner, but kind of close enough. Along the floor to the right. Pretty good. DJ Corleone says, I'm worried we'll lose the Premier League. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely. I think Liverpool are probably a bit too many points ahead. Because is it like 12 points ahead? Let me check. I can't. I knew this. I knew this like last week. But you know when you've had international football, so you don't remember much. Yeah, Liverpool are 12 points ahead, and there's 9 games to go. So 12 points ahead with 27 points, I guess. Yeah, I mean it's not impossible, but it would have to be like an epic. It would have to be an epic capitulation, I think, to lose the league from this point. But yeah. Oh, Osasuna have a free kick. Again, it's very deep in their half. But at least they're doing something now. Good old Osasuna. Osasuna just play it sideways. Oh, but do a nice ball over the top. Ah. The striker should have hit it at first attempt. So the ball bounced right in front of the striker and he was right in front of the keeper. But he waited for the ball to bounce again and then it bounced away. That's so frustrating. He hit it right there because the ball was going diagonally and he met the ball perfectly and the ball was at the perfect height. But for some reason, he waited for the ball to bounce the second time and the ball then bounced away. Yeah, not ideal. Osasuna have got a... They've got a corner at the very least. Ooh. Barcelona countering again, but Osasuna kind of snuff it out. Good for Osasuna, eh? Barcelona attacking again. I'm convinced this is going to be like 9-0. Because they're just repeatedly attacking after attacking after attacking after attacking, and it's like, yeah, they're gonna get battered. Barcelona again, ball day again. Osasuna though, making a break down the left hand side, decent crossing, but it's snuffed out. It's snuffed out. Almost complaining about something, but you can never tell when they're doing this what they're talking about. So who knows? Might be complaining about the weather. I think Olmo might be going off, but I don't think he's like properly injured. I think, sometimes when they go off for 5 seconds and then run back, it's probably one of those. Oh no, I'm wrong. I think he might be getting subbed off here. Who's coming on? But anyway, Osasuna are gonna take advantage of the extra man that they have on the pitch. Goes out to Moncayola. Ooh, does a nice pass over the top. Again, it falls to Raul Garcia. And it bounces right in front of him. And it's like, bro, just hit the ball. Hit the ball at the goal. But they wait for it to bounce at the perfect bounce. And then before you know it, the keeper's got it. And they've lost the ball. Frustrating, isn't it? It's like, be more decisive. Take a risk. So Olmo's off and Fermin Lopez is on. Which is a shame because I liked seeing Olmo play, but it is what it is. Barcelona attacking again. I was going to say Piqué, but that's Martinez. Martinez goes to De Jong. De Jong tries to dribble past the whole team and loses the ball. Martinez defends, goes to Balde, goes to De Jong, passes it back to Garcia. Nice ball over the top. Yamal's got the ball at the edge of the box. Ooh, nice pass to Pedri. Pedri intelligent pass along the floor to Torres. Maybe should have done better, but I think the ball's gone out for a corner. So Osasuna attacking down their left again, which seems to be their preference, over the right hand side. Goes to Katina, goes to Jesus Araso. Araso. Osasuna try a ball over the top, but Martinez is just going to snuff that out. Passes it back to Szczesny. Szczesny just kind of dummied it past the defender there. Good old Wojciech. Yamal now just running past the whole team. Ran past the whole team. Shot with his left and it was very close to going in. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know why people can't get near him if people are kind of scared or what it is. Osasuna attacking again, but again it just kind of comes to nothing. I mean, they're trying, Osasuna, and you can never knock a trier. So I'll give them that. Speaking of triers, the ball goes back to De Jong, plays it forward to Lopez, plays it to Yamal, who's looked the most dangerous out of everyone, to be honest. Munoz is on the floor though for Osasuna. So this is going to hold the play up for a bit. They're just showing a replay of the first goal. Really well worked goal. Passed it along the left, Balde then did a cross along the floor. Torres then smacks it in. Ball goes to De Jong. Back out left, Bolde again. Cross over the top. Ooh, defended. Again, nobody can get near Yamal when he does these little skills and things. Ooh, Osasuna bringing a sub on. Not that anyone cares. I should probably be a bit more fair to Osasuna. Gamer underscore Cal2 says thoughts on the Harry Kane or on the Liverpool Harry Kane links. My thoughts. Well, my thoughts are no thanks. No thanks. A few years ago, I mean, firstly, I find him annoying as a player. I just find his little face a bit annoying. But even if I didn't find him annoying as a person, good striker, but he's on the wrong side of 30. And I know he's got fitness issues, and he would ask for a lot of money. So yeah, kind of bearing all those things in mind, it would be a no from me because he's gonna want like at least 300k a week, possibly more. I don't know how much longevity Harry Kane would have left, because again he's had his injury issues and he's had his fitness issues, and it doesn't feel like a Liverpool type of signing to me. It feels more like a Man United type of signing. You know, when you've had like an amazing player, but they're the wrong side of 30, they're starting to kind of pick up injuries, but they still command a very high wage. That's what Man United do. So yeah, I'd probably say no. But like, he would be amazing for like a year or two, but Liverpool don't strike me as a team who plans for who plan based on 1 or 2 year periods. They seem to generally plan based on like 5-year periods. So they don't make short-term signings. I guess that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I guess taking all of those things into consideration, it'd probably be no. But like if he was, I don't know, 26 and he was on 150k a week, then sure. But the reality is he's like what, 32, 33, and he's on double that. And we don't even know how he'd perform coming back to England after playing in the German league for 2 years, which, let's be honest, is not as competitive a league. So would he like adjust back to the speed of I mean, I'm sure he would, to be honest. But it is an open question. But yeah, I'd probably say no. The only situation I'd say yes in is if, like, I don't know, he only wanted like 100 grand a week and it was like a 2-year contract. With that in mind, it would make sense. But it doesn't make sense to borderline break the wage structure, because let's look at the fact. We are unprepared to break the wage structure for your Salahs and your Van Dijks, who have delivered year after year, who the fans love, who themselves love the club. So why would we break the wage structure for a randomer? It don't make sense to me, man. So Barcelona attacking again. Just keep on saying the same thing over and over again because that's what's happening. Pedri, again, really nice pass forward against... Really nice pass forward to Torres, who was basically through and the defender pulled him down. So I'm surprised that's just a yellow, because I've seen red cards given for that. Katina was the one who did it. Number 24. He just tackled him like this with like his with his hands around his neck. So Barcelona have got a free kick now, about 15 to 20 yards out. um, right in the center of the goal. Looks like Torres is going to take it. I hope he shoots because it's literally right in the middle of the goal, and the wall is kind of more to the left, if you know what I mean. So the keeper's on the far right, the wall is in the middle but to the left. So I think he can curl this in. Oh, it might be Yamal. No, it is Torres. Torres with a shot. Ooh, hits the bar. I had a good feeling about that one, purely based on like where the wall was. It's the worst wall I've ever seen. And he did go in that direction that I suspected, but it was a bit too high, unfortunately. So my prediction of 9-0 might not come through. It could still come true, but my specific prediction was one goal every 10 minutes. So that might not happen. But anyway, come back to Pedri now. Pedri loses the ball, but Barcelona get it straight back with Garcia. The thing is, like, Barcelona's press is also very good. So as soon as Osasuna get the ball, it kind of bounces straight back to a Barcelona player, which is kind of very... But it is what it is. Osasuna taking a free kick then from basically right by the halfway line. They whip a ball in to the far right, but their player completely misses the ball and it goes straight to Balde. Balde takes a clearance. But yeah, nothing much happens. Osasuna taking a throw in. Defended by Pedri. So Pedri's doing decent from a defensive aspect as well. Barcelona are countering now with Gavi. Gavi does a ball over the top to Yamal. Yamal cuts inside. Tries to cross it into the box. But again, Pedri just gets the ball back, and Barcelona attacking again. Yamal, Barcelona have slowed down a little bit, but to be fair, they started very fast. So you can't complain. You can't complain too much. Osasuna now taking a goal kick. Boot it up the field. Headed on. DJ Corleone says, I miss Sadio Mane. One of the best Liverpool left wingers I've ever seen. Yeah, he's definitely up there. Some would definitely make the argument as the best left winger they've ever seen, perhaps alongside John Bonds. I'm trying to think who else there's been from a left wing's perspective. John Bonds. Obviously, there's been players like Albert Riera. Um, Mark Gonzalez. But yeah, no, he definitely be up there because I think he pretty much had it all. He could shoot with both feet, so scored plenty of goals with his right, scored plenty of goals with his left. Also a very good header of the ball. Also a very good passer. Also had very good strength. Was also very fast. So he had all the physical and technical attributes in abundance. Um, was also competitive, but not too competitive, because I think that's important. Um, but was also very good defensively. So he'd track back, he'd defend, he'd put the effort in. He'd put the effort in to cover Robertson when Robertson was out of position. So yeah, I totally understand that. And to be fair, at least he left for a fee, unlike some people. So yeah. Barcelona are just controlling this game. De Jong's got the ball. De Jong passes it to Gavi. Gavi passes it to Pedri. Pedri again does that long like pass over to Yamal. Yamal cuts inside. Oh, he was just trying to find a bit of space to kind of shoot there. Ball goes to Gavi. Gavi's going to play it left to Torres. He is. Torres is going to cut inside on his right. Yep. Ooh, Gavi with a nice pass. Yamal. Ooh, Yamal takes a shot from about 25 yards out, but he skies it. But skies it is an overstatement. It was very close. Cuts inside on his left, kind of smacks it, but just kind of misses and goes over the bar. So goal kick to Osasuna. Goes out to Bolde on the left. Goes to Gavi. Garcia to Yamal. Ah, tries to kind of put Kunde through, but loses out. Cleared. Yeah, Martinez should just play that back to Chesney, which he does. Chesney then blasts it back out, but Osasuna defend. Man, Osasuna just looks so lifeless. Like, if they can get a consolation goal, I think even that would be kind of positive for them. Pedri again, moving the ball forward, goes out to Yamal on the right. Yamal with an outside, with a pass using the outside of the foot, but he's not Salah, so he doesn't quite get the curl on it. It goes, it goes straight to the keeper. Referee's blown the whistle, but it can't be half time yet because we've only had 3 minutes. Yeah, just a foul. So Kunde, Garcia to Martinez to Pedri. Pedri again lofting a ball over the top. Osasuna are terrible at holding a high line, which is why Barcelona keep putting balls in over the top. Because when Osasuna try to hold a high line, at least one player will be a meter behind the others, and then Barcelona can get in. Again, Osasuna try something, but the ball just ends up rolling straight back. So it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? I mean, they tried something, but couldn't really do much with it. Okay, so half time. Cat underscore meow underscore meow, amazing username, asks, what do you think about Kwanzaa to Newcastle? Wow, what do I think about Kwanzaa to Newcastle? I would be all over that, to be fair. Again, it depends what kind of money you could get for him. I appreciate he is a youth player. I appreciate he does count towards the English quota. I appreciate he does count towards the homegrown quota. But I think if you get enough money, I'd seriously consider it. Like, I don't know, if we could get like 40 million. I don't know if that's too optimistic or not optimistic enough. But if we could get 40 million, I'd do it. Of course, it means you have to bring in an extra centre back in addition to the one that you have to bring in anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's probably a good move for everyone involved. Especially if you can do a part exchange with Isak or a part exchange with Gordon, that could work quite nicely. Like, I don't know why Newcastle want him so badly. I mean, he's fine. But like, what's their obsession with Jarrell Kwanzaa? I just don't quite understand. In a similar vein, what's Barcelona's obsession with Luis Diaz? You know what I mean? Like, Luis Diaz is fine. I mean, he's fine. He's fine. But like, why are they like so obsessed and kind of borderline adamant on getting him. I don't really understand. So yeah, with respect to Kwanzaa, I think at least 40 million um, should be all over that. And with respect to Luis Diaz, at least 60 million should be all over that. There's 100 million right there. 40 plus 60. But yeah, I think if the right offer comes in, there's no need to kind of hold on to them. I think Kwanzaa might have recently actually signed a new contract as well, which will kind of boost his value. So that's always good. But yeah, 40, I think 40, 45 for Kwanzaa, that'd be nice. You could probably look at getting a Hoysen with that kind of money, because I think Hoysen's release clause is about 50. Hoysen I'm really excited about, but also borderline concerned with, because he looks so good that I think other teams will be in for him as well. But there's only one team that can say they're the Premier League champions, right? Well, Man City right now, but at the end of the season. But yeah, I'd say sell Kwanzaa, invest the money in Hoysen. I know Hato is another one that has been rumoured. I mean, he looks fine, but he looks a bit... He doesn't look quite as kind of cultured as Hoysen for me. Like, Hoysen looks quite elegant on the ball, and he makes the game look easy, which is what Van Dijk does to a certain degree. But with Hato, like, he's got good physical attributes, but I don't know if it's... I don't know if he's quite the same as Hoysen. Schlotterbeck's another one. He's older. He's more of an experienced player. Schlotterbeck looks good as well. My only concern with Schlotterbeck is, number one, like, he's one of the most important players at Dortmund, and he's rumoured to also be in line for the Dortmund captaincy. So if we were to get Schlotterbeck, we would have to make him a priority in the squad, if you know what I mean. As in, we'd have to give him a starting spot, which would mean he'd probably have to take Konate's starting spot, because Schlotterbeck ain't taking Van Dijk's starting spot, which means you'd have to start Schlotterbeck and Van Dijk. But then the problem there is that Schlotterbeck is left-footed and Van Dijk plays on the left. And the reason, or part of the reason why Van Dijk playing on the left works so well is because he does that long crossfield ball over to Salah. You know, when he gets the ball on the left, he looks over and then he passes it 1,000 yards to Salah's feet. So if you were to get Schlotterbeck, you'd have to play Schlotterbeck on the left, which means you'd have to then play Van Dijk on the right. So you'd lose the crossfield ball to Salah. I mean, I'm sure he could do a crossfield ball to Gakpo or whatever, but it's not what you've trained for the past few years. So yeah, a lot to consider. But of all the defenders, like, Hoysen would probably be my first choice. Again, he's very young as well, but he just looks like a superstar in the making. Like, he's just got that something about him, I think. So I definitely kind of look at him. But as I said, who else is going to be in for him? Are other teams going to be in for him and then pay him ridiculous wages? Because we're not going to pay him ridiculous wages. We're only in for him because he's young and he's got the potential to be world class, which means we're going to want to pay him like 50 grand, 60 grand for the first contract. And then maybe the second contract after 4 or 5 years will be 150. And then maybe the third contract will be the 200, 251. But yeah. But it works both ways, right? Like, he might get a lot more money at other clubs, but I don't think he'd develop as good at other clubs. Like, look at what's his name? Who's that useless French defender that Man United bought? I've forgotten his name. The one with the weird hair and the mustache. Um, has he like even developed? Has he even developed as a defender? I know that he was injured. He got an injury, but oh, it's bugging me, man. What's his name? Man United French defender. Lenny Euro. That's it. Um, so does he want to go down the Lenny Euro road in terms of Euro's getting paid a lot, but I haven't really heard a peep about him since he's signed. Because he was heralded as the next big thing, but it hasn't really worked out, which doesn't tend to work out if you finish that far down. Um, but yeah, it's just some things to consider, isn't it? But yeah, I definitely think as part of the transfers that are going to be done in the summer, I think a big part of it is going to be restructuring the wage structure and trying to get that kind of under control again. Because we did try this whole kind of Moneyball thing originally, but then when Michael Edwards left and Julian Ward left and all those guys left, then we kind of gave control of the transfers back over to the manager, which is how you end up with Darwin Núñez, which is how you end up with Luis Diaz. So I think Klopp and Linders did things in a more traditional way, in terms of they just see a player and be like, wow, player is amazing. Whereas now I think margins are so thin, and there's proof in the pudding that margins are so thin, because you can't really win the Premier League on like 70-ish points anymore. So margins are thinner than they've ever been, and I think that makes the whole data side all the more important. Um, so yeah, but I think they're gonna try and kind of go back to more of a kind of Moneyball type of approach, in terms of kind of getting players when they're younger, getting players on lower wages, rewarding them when they do well, but not rewarding them kind of too much from the start. But equally, I think with the new regime, you might see more players leaving in a more ready fashion than they have been in the past. So I think it's quite well known that kind of Michael Edwards wanted to get rid of Jordan Henderson, but Klopp intervened and got him a new contract. So now that the structure has changed, in the sense that Michael Edwards is like multiple levels above everyone, and then below him you got Julian Ward, who's the technical director, who used to be the sporting director, but now Michael Edwards is basically like head of football. And then below him you got Julian Ward, who's a technical director, and you've got that Portuguese guy who's like some youth, blah 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 blah. And then below Julian Ward, you've got Richard Hughes, and then below Richard Hughes you've got Arne Slot. So Arne Slot is literally a head coach, not a manager. So I think like a lot of the transfer decisions and a lot of the transfer logic is gonna be determined by those levels above the head coach. So if they want to bring a player in, they will. Of course, they need to get the manager on side, because there's no point bringing in a player who he doesn't want. But that's part of their jobs. It's part of their jobs to deal with kind of deal with different stakeholders and get them on your side. Um, so yeah, I think we will see players coming in, but equally we will see more players going out. Um, like I don't know, as an example, if Simicast didn't want to sign a new contract for whatever reason, I think with the new regime you'd see him being sold rather than waiting for his contract to kind of expire. that kind of thing. So I do think with the new structure, I think it will be a lot more proactive in terms of players coming in and players going out. Um, it won't be a case of we'll just let his contract expire, like with Ox and with Navigator and so forth, and then once their contract is expired, then we'll get someone new. No, I think it will be a bit different. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. So it looks like the second half is about to start now, which means I don't need to continue talking about Liverpool's transfer strategy. Pedri is captain today, which is interesting. Isn't he like 20 years old? 22, okay. It's Barcelona coming out. Chesney coming out. I think we'll see. I think we'll see more goals in the second half probably. Snus in the chat is saying, "How's the game?" It's okay. 2-0 to Barcelona. First goal was Ferran Torres. Second goal was a Dani Olmo penalty. But it's okay. Not bad. Not bad. 2 goals in 20 minutes, which made me think, okay, this is going to be a really exciting game. But since then, it's kind of slowed down a bit. But second half is just starting now, which should be quite good. Brianna Jacob says, apparently the Salah deal is almost sorted. Yes, I saw that. I saw that it was reported today. What I found quite funny is that they're reporting that as soon as it's kind of rumoured that Trent might be going. So I don't know if they're just giving Trent's wages to Salah or if that was the hold up. But yeah. I think if we can get that Salah deal over the line, I think it will be quite the achievement. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that, given that it's almost April. But yeah, I think it's it would be funny if that was the hold up, if you know what I mean, that they just have like a finite pool of wages. Because if you cast your mind back as well to kind of 2 years ago, like there was this whole thing about, is Salah gonna get a new contract, or is Sadio Mane gonna get a new contract? And then it was going back and forth. And then as soon as Mane left, suddenly Salah got a new contract, and then everyone was joking around that, Salah just got Mane's wages. So I don't know if that's gonna happen here. Might as well. They wanted to give Trent 320 grand a week. Wow, that is crazy. Like I've heard like 300, which I thought was a bit much, but yeah, I would say if you're offering Trent 320 grand a week, like what more can like the club physically do? Like I know like everyone wants to kind of blame the club and say, oh, it's awful, but like if you're giving a right back who has his good moments and also has his bad moments, like if you're giving him 320k a week, there's probably not much more we can do. I believe he pretty much did though. Salah did get Mane's wages, and Mo is getting shared wages with Van Dijk. Yeah, it looks like it. I wonder, like, if Salah is the next to leave, Does Van Dijk then also get Salah's wages and also get Trent's wages? But it does look like that in terms of they want to keep the overall number the same, um, but like they don't want to add to it, kind of thing. I wonder what the they don't add it. Yeah, I was just saying it would be kind of funny if they did that. But I think Trent was on about 200-ish. I think roughly about 200 grand a week. Ooh, good header by Osasuna, but the ball just goes out. Yeah, I think Trent was on like 200 grand a week. So it would be interesting to see if they gave like 100 extra to Salah and 100 kind of extra to Van Dijk, or if they gave, I don't know, 50 each, or whatever. I'm curious to see what the kind of final number would be. Um, they take some of the Trent Alexander-Arnold money wages and give it to Salah, and same with Van Dijk. But yes, it will be on the same wages. 180k, same with Van Dijk, I believe. I think Trent was 180k as well. Yeah, that number 180, it kind of rings a bell. I think one of them was on 180, and I think one was on 200. I think Van Dijk might have been 200, and I think Trent might have been 180. So that sounds about right. Apparently, Trent's only going to get 220 at Real Madrid. Um, but I presume he's going to get like a giant signing on fee, um, which would kind of sweeten the deal for him. So Lewandowski's warming up now. This would be kind of the perfect game for Lewandowski because I think Osasuna's line is just far too high. Osasuna are trying to play offside, but whenever they try and play offside, one player is like too deep, and then Barcelona always come through. Um, yes, he was on 200k. You are right. Yes, he's getting signing on bonus shared with his brother. Oh, I can't stand his brother. His brother and his little fake, like overly like whitened teeth. I just find him annoying. That's who I'm blaming for all of this. Blaming his brother. But yeah, his brother's his agent, I believe. Um, yeah, it's just it's just kind of messed up though. Like, yeah, you'll get like a big signing on fee, but I guess the downside for him is that he's always going to be remembered as the one that kind of left for a free, like left for nothing, and then that tag is going to kind of stick with him forever. And people don't forget these things. Like if you compare him to like Steve McManaman, like no one really cares about Steve McManaman anymore. Liverpool fans don't care about Steve McManaman because he left for a free. And not Barcelona, Real Madrid fans don't really care about Steve McManaman because he's just like another player, and they've had tons of amazing players. So I don't know. I don't know if he'll go down. I don't know if he'll go down that route. Um, but yeah, it should be interesting. Uh, might have been, who knows. Nah, he's getting the money that we were supposed to pay for him, so he probably will get 50 to 80 million, and he will share it with his brother. Yeah, makes sense. As his brother will take like an agent's fee, and he might give him a bit more because it's his brother or whatever. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. We just got to move on. Um, it will be interesting. It will be interesting to kind of see how Trent does over there, and it will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see how Trent copes with the pressure, because I think the pressure at Real Madrid is different to the pressure that you have at Liverpool. Um, so it'd be interesting to see how he does with that, because I think with Liverpool, and especially with their own kind of players, they will kind of continue to support you, kind of thing. Whereas I think at Real Madrid, I think the fans are a bit less forgiving, and it's just the way that they are. Um, and it has brought them a lot of success. Um, so it will be interesting to see how Real Madrid fans kind of react to him when he makes these mistakes, because we know he's going to make these mistakes. And does Trent have the mental strength to kind of cope with it? I'm not sure, because all season he hasn't done a single interview, like, the post-match interviews. So Van Dijk's done the post-match interviews, Salah's done the post-match interviews, Konate's done them, Gravenberch has done them, even Darwin Núñez has done post-match interviews, and he doesn't even speak English. He just says his two words that he knows, but Trent hasn't done any. So it'd be interesting to see. Honestly, I can't wait to see Barcelona versus Real Madrid. It will be really good. Um, I don't always watch it, but I think next year I will make extra effort to watch it. Will be funny when Rafinha cooks him 500 times. It will be pretty funny, and I will not feel an ounce of sympathy. Who cares? Let him be. Yeah, pretty much. I think that's the best approach. It kind of allows kind of both teams to kind of move on, and it allows Slot to get a right back who would kind of more fit into his system. Um, I'm not convinced that Trent fits into kind of Slot system, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see who we get. Because I like Connor Bradley. Connor Bradley is good as well, but I'm just kind of concerned about his injuries. For a young lad, he's had a lot of injuries, so that's my only concern with him. Trent can't defend. We protected him enough. That's true. He was amazing for us going forward. He was amazing for us going forward. I think the last two seasons haven't been as good as the previous two. So this was a 4-year contract that he signed. So the first two seasons I think were quite good. The last two have not been as good. But it is what it is. I'm excited to see Liverpool move on. You could really see him not giving an F about defending Liverpool versus Man United at Anfield. Yeah, I'm still angry about that game. Just the slowness with which he was running back, and I think that was when the Lisandro Martinez scored on Trent's side, and he was just jogging back. It's like, yeah, I think I'm kind of done with it. Yeah, exactly. He didn't even care. Let Lisandro score. That's the thing, and it's like if you can't get up for a derby, Liverpool versus Man United, what's the point? Might as well just let him go. Yeah, both goals came from his side. So that I mean, that sort of stuff I will not miss, shall we say? So Barcelona is still only 2-0 up, which is a bit of a surprise considering they scored 2 goals in 20 minutes. I thought this would be like 9-0, but they're just moving the ball around midfield. Yeah, the death stare that Van Dijk gave him. Oh my, yeah, that scared me a bit, and I wasn't even the one getting the death stare. Ooh, another cross along the floor by Yamal. Ferran Torres gets ahead of the ball, but he kicks it wide. Man, Yamal looks so good whenever you see him play. Again, Osasuna try to get out, but they just get pressed and lose the ball. They're trying this kind of pass out the back thing against Barcelona, and it's like, bro, you're Osasuna. It's not gonna work. So the story of this match is the ball goes out. Osasuna try to play out the back. Barcelona get the ball back, attack again. Osasuna try to play out the back, lose the ball. Corner to Barcelona. Ooh. Again, Yamal gets the ball, edge of the box, goes top corner, but he just about kind of misses. Goal kick now to Osasuna. Boot the ball over, but again, the same story. Osasuna, they try to play out, but Barcelona just get the ball straight back. Honestly, I don't even want Trent to start another game for Liverpool. Yeah, I don't want him to start another game, and if he has signed a contract with Real Madrid, I don't even want him on the bench. As far as I'm concerned, like, enough is enough. Don't want him to start a game. Don't want him on the bench. And if there's a parade at the end of the year for winning the Premier League, don't want to see him there either. Because you know what's going to happen. Because every time he touches the ball, he's just going to get booed. And it's just not good for the team. And he also shouldn't really get to celebrate, considering he's deciding to do one. Oh yeah, your next point there. But at the same time, I do want him just so that he can feel the Anfield booing. Yeah, maybe he needs to experience that just once. Maybe Slot could just keep on bringing him on for like the last 5 minutes kind of thing, just to annoy him, or the last 1 minute, just bring him on for that, just so that he can get booed and he has to kind of warm up for nothing. That would be funny. Brianna Jacob asks, do you think it will be a busy summer for transfers? I do. I do think it will be a very busy summer. A lot of kind of what we've discussed and kind of talked about before, but now you can add a right back to that, I think. But yeah, in terms of incomings then, I'd like to see a right back, I'd like to see a centre back, and if Kwanzaa goes to Newcastle, which is what we've been hearing today, if Kwanzaa goes to Newcastle, then we might need a second centre back, because I think we need one anyway, but if Kwanzaa leaves, I think we need two. Left back, defensive midfielder, centre forward, and then just like replace whoever leaves, if you know what I mean. So if Diaz goes, we need a left winger and so forth. Because let's be real, he will be booed no matter what when we face Real Madrid anyway. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the booing he'll get every time he touches the ball. Just give Jota and Kwanzaa and cash for Isaac. Newcastle want both. That would be a good deal. And I think for Kwanzaa's career as well, you could say, look, you're going to start every week for Newcastle, and it'll be kind of good for your progression. Similarly for Jota, like, it's not like he's going back to Wolves. So I think we could sell the move. But how much cash do you think that would be? So Jota, I'd probably value about 45. Kwanzaa, probably 40. So what, would it be Jota plus Kwanzaa and plus another 40-ish? Probably something like that. Newcastle want both. They even wanted Joe Gomez, but Gomez didn't want to join. Yeah. I recall that at the start of the season. Newcastle's position might be a bit strengthened now that they have a Carabao Cup. And if they get into the Champions League again, it will be proper strengthened. So it'll be interesting. Ooh, Osasuna! Defended. Jota is 40. Yeah. Kwanzaa 40, 50. Okay. Interesting. We wanted 60 for him last summer. Wow. Okay. So his value's probably gone down a bit. Let's say 40 to 45 million. So that's 85 million. And then add in 35 to make it 120. Yeah, that could be a good deal. I think that could be a good deal because Kwanzaa isn't really a starter. Uh, and if we get Isaac, Jota wouldn't be a starter either. So essentially two subs plus 40 odd. It's probably a pretty good deal. I don't think they'll go lower than 120. Yeah, I don't think so either, unless they're kind of forced to because of PSR or something like that. But I think I think 120 is probably the right amount. I know there's interest from other teams. I know there's interest from Arsenal with the capital V. But I think our bargaining position will be stronger than Arsenal because Liverpool are a bigger club than Arsenal historically, and also in recent times, you can say Liverpool have two Premier Leagues and they've got a Champions League. What have Arsenal got in recent times? Nothing, like an FA Cup. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because that also means if we sell Kwanzaa, we need to buy at least two centre backs because Kanat is injury prone. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I want to see one of those be at least Hoysen because I've been kind of super impressed with how Hoysen plays. I know he's very young, but I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Hoysen looks like a star in the making. And then the second one could be someone a bit older, perhaps like a Schlotterbeck or somebody. But yeah, if Kwanzaa goes, you need at least two centre backs, I think. Also, if we talk about Bournemouth, Dean Hoysen and Kerkez, we can do a Kelleher swap deal and cash. Yeah. I think one or at least two of those could be a release clause. So maybe pay the one that's a release clause and the one that isn't. Try and do a swap deal with Kelleher. It'd be interesting to see what Kelleher would be valued at. I know he hasn't got much time left on his contract, but equally, you'd have to say that Kelleher's one of the best keepers in the league. So he'd have to have a decent amount of value, probably like 30, 35-ish, somewhere around there. And then sell Diaz and Nunes, and spend that on one left winger and Reed Wonder Kid from Feyenoord. Kelleher will be 30-ish. Yeah, probably around there. I think all things considered, around 30 million is probably a fair price. If he had like a significantly longer contract, I think we might be able to get a bit more for him. But I think considering contracts up soon, 30 is probably fair, I think. Barcelona pretty much just playing keep ball now. We will most likely sell Endo and Simicas. Yeah, I think so. The Endo one is a bit interesting though because like even though we will probably sell Endo, like part of me doesn't want to see Endo go because I think Endo offers something different. He's more of a kind of ball winner tackler, which kind of we don't have, number one. And number two, like we wouldn't get much money for Endo because he's the wrong side of 30. And number three, like Endo's on like really low wages anyway. So personally, I don't want to see him go. And he's probably good for like international shirt sales and all that because he's the Japanese captain. So even though we will probably see him go, I'd like to see Endo stay. We most likely will sell Endo and Simicast. It will be a huge summer, so it will be interesting that they're gonna like break apart the team that won the Premier League. But I think they have to do it. I think they kind of have to do it at this point. Even Chiesa is another one that will leave. I don't know why we even bought him for sitting on the bench. Yeah, Chiesa's Chiesa's an interesting one. I think so. Lewandowski's just coming on for Torres, so the game might get a few more goals now. Yeah, I think with Chiesa, they just saw it as like an opportunity that was too good to turn down. So essentially, a 80 million pound player who, granted, has had his injury problems, but was available for 10 million. I think the sheer fact that he cost 10 million pounds just made them go, you know what, we might as well take the risk. And worst comes to worst, he's absolute rubbish. But then we only lose 10 million, which is nothing. So I think they did it because his price was so cheap. If he was 20 million, maybe not. If he was 30, definitely not. But the fact that he was 10 million, and you don't get nothing for 10 million these days, it's probably why they did it. We will get 176 million from winning the Premier League. We will. How much the playing squad will see of that, I'm not. I'm not sure. But it's good money. It's good money coming in either way. Maybe a little depth, but even say that since we haven't used them. I mean, that's the weird thing. Because when Chiesa comes on, he looks dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, he looks dangerous. Like, he looks like he wants to try. He looks like he's willing to put the effort in. Like, he's never come on and I've been like, okay, that was a waste of time. Like he's always tried, and he's got a couple of goals. He got one versus Newcastle. He got one in the Cup. I don't know. I want at least 50 to 76 into the summer budget in terms of from the ownership. I think they should be able to do that, and I don't think that's too unreasonable an ask. I don't think, especially considering this season. I know we bought Chiesa. Oh, you mean from the Premier League winning prize? Yeah, fair enough. So, so now the 76 makes sense. I thought 76 is very precise, but it's because of the 176 from winning the Premier League. Um, yeah, you'd hope so. You'd hope so. Um, the weird thing is, like, even like last year, I mean, we did pretty well. So we would have got money from finishing high in the league. Was it third that we finished last year? So we would have got something from finishing third. And then we also sold Fabio Carvalho. And then we also sold Sepp Vandenberg. And then we also sold a few more players. But like they never really put the money back in. We won't add 176 on the money from selling. We got Adidas cash through. Cash from the new kit deal as well. I'm sure there'd be a bit of, I was just gonna say that. So we got 48 million from losing to PSG. There was probably a decent amount from winning the Champions League group out of everyone, finishing first. There must be a bit of money for that, surely. So there is money there. There is money there. I guess in the past the excuse has always been they didn't have the right structure to spend the money, and then in the summer the excuse was they wanted to give Slot some time to assess the squad. But now he's had a year, so he will have fully assessed the squad, and we know that he's assessed the squad because there's certain players that he never brings on. So he must have assessed the squad. So yeah, I'm going to want to see some fairly significant changes. Most of that cash will be put to wages. Yeah, that is true. Remember, we didn't spend last summer or the January window. Yes. So I think pretty much in the last 3 windows, we've only brought in Chiesa, as far as I'm aware. I know there's Mamadashvili as well, but I'm not counting him. But as far as I'm aware, in the last 3 windows, we've only bought in Chiesa for 10 million. Yeah, Mamadashvili is counted next summer. Yeah. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see how he does. I know Alisson will still be the number 1, but I'm still curious to see how Mamardashvili will adapt to the new surroundings. So Hansi Flick on the sidelines here, looking very stylish, but not very happy. Free kick to Barcelona in their own half. It's taking forever to take the free kick. I think that's Martinez. Still hasn't taken the free kick. He just keeps running up to the ball and then running back. Mamardashvili will take over the cup game. Yeah, good point. Mamardashvili will take over the cup games like Carabao. Yeah. And will most likely play when Alisson gets injured, not if, because we know Alisson's gonna get injured again. So he will have opportunity. Osasuna playing at the back. It's like, I know it's your style of play, but like you've tried it a million times. You're trying to play at the back against Barcelona, and it don't work. He is injured twice a year at least for a specific amount of time. Yeah, and it's always weird. It's always hamstrings. Not always, but significant amount of time it's an hamstring issue. It seems to be kind of recurring. Kicked the ball, hamstring issue. Walked the wrong way, hamstring issue. Osasuna with a free kick now. Let's see if they do anything with this. And the answer to that is no. They do absolutely nothing with their free kick. To be fair, the ball's gone out for a corner, so you might be able to give them something with that. They take a short corner for some reason, and then they whip a ball in, and they head it wide. Yeah, the skill gap between Barcelona and Osasuna is just gigantic. I think we very rarely see this kind of skill gap in the Premier League. It's like if Barcelona are a 10 out of 10, Osasuna are like a 3 out of 10. Whereas in the Premier League, I think it's 10 out of 10, then there's a lot of like 7s and a lot of 6s. But it's like Barcelona, they scored 2 goals, and since then they haven't really been trying. And the crowd is doing a Mexican wave. If Osasuna get a consolation goal of some sort, it might jazz this game up a bit. Osasuna commit too many players forward. Now Barcelona are countering. Oh my god, that's a nice goal. That is a nice goal. Osasuna, they they had far too many people forward because they were trying to kind of counter, trying to score. Sorry, Barcelona break on the counter. Fermin Lopez bombs down the right with nobody to defend. Crosses the ball into Lewandowski. Lewandowski does a diving header, 3-0. I just got to see the replay of that again. Yeah. So it was a throw into Osasuna, but Osasuna only had two defenders back. So Barcelona countered. So Fermin Lopez now, perfect crossing, perfectly crossed the ball in between two defenders, and then Lewandowski did a diving header. Gamer underscore Cal2 says, what are your thoughts about Trent leaving? At this point, basically don't care. If I am honest, it is. I do feel like he's played the situation for his own gain, by kind of going on a free, because look what Alexis McAllister did. So Alexis McAllister could have left for a free from Brighton, but McAllister signed a new contract with Brighton, so that Brighton would at least get some money, if you know what I mean. So he signed a contract with a £35 million release clause, so that instead of McAllister leaving for a free, Brighton would at least get 35 million. And McAllister did that for a club that he was at for like 3-4 years. Like, that's what he's done for people that he's known for 3 or 4 years. Whereas Trent didn't want to do that for the club that he's been at his entire life. It kind of doesn't really feel good. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll get another right back. Kind of life moves on. We've barely even benefited from having him this year, to be honest. And if anything, he's been a bit of a hindrance. But now we know why, because his mind was on other things. So yeah, good. My thoughts are kind of good riddance, I guess. A £35 million release clause, that's how you help out your previous club, 100%. And if you remember, I think it was last season, after the Liverpool-Brighton game, like De Zerbi took McAllister in his Liverpool shirt around for like applause from the Brighton fans, and they were all applauding him. So McAllister is still kind of loved by Brighton for kind of what he did and how he acted, whereas that's definitely not going to happen with Trent. Means more for us, he said. Yeah, complete nonsense. Yeah, I think if he had done a McAllister to say, look, I'm a £80 million player, but I really want to go, so I'll sign a £40 million release clause. If he had done that, I think a lot more people, myself included, would be wishing him well. But it's the fact that he's being greedy about it, and his brother's being greedy about it. But it's all good. It will make it all the more funnier when he flops, because I'm like 90% sure that he's gonna flop, because I don't think he'll be able to kind of handle the pressure there. After one or two mistakes, those fans are gonna turn on him instantly, and I don't think he's got the mental strength to kind of cope with that. And when it does, he'll end up on the bench, and I would not be surprised if within like 2 years Trent ends up at Newcastle or ends up at Aston Villa or something. I just don't see it working out. I bet some of the Brighton fans still watch McAllister. Yeah, I used to work with a guy who was a Brighton fan, and yeah, he would still kind of, when McAllister scored that goal against Real Madrid, like, he was like super happy about it. So McAllister still got a good reputation amongst Brighton fans. And that's the thing now. McAllister in some ways has got like two homes for life kind of thing. Whereas, because I appreciate the playing career is short, but like after your playing career, like that's when normal life starts. And I think what Michael Owen is seeing now is that nobody likes Michael Owen. Nobody wants him. Liverpool fans don't want him because he played for Man United. Real Madrid fans don't want Michael Owen because he was only there for a year, so who cares? Newcastle fans don't want Michael Owen um, because he cost them like 16 million and then pretty much left. Man United fans don't want Michael Owen because they consider him a Liverpool guy. Stoke fans don't want Michael Owen because they probably can't remember him even playing for them. So this is what Owen has to live with now. And like even like for Legends games and things, like he'll never get invited back. Like he'll never get invited back. Whereas the most random player like Mark Gonzalez, who played like 3 minutes, is getting applauded and he's getting loved by the fans. So Owen just kind of feels a bit alone by himself. And I think he even came out recently and said it really bothers him that Liverpool fans don't kind of have any love for him. But yeah, you kind of make your decisions. You got to think of them. Um, I don't even feel sad over him, so I'll just enjoy all the bad defending he will do at Real Madrid. Yeah, we'll get some. What used to be nervous moments for us will now be funny moments, so we will enjoy that. He might win another UCL, but like McManaman said, it didn't feel good since he left Champions League, since he left Liverpool. That's the point I'm making, in the sense that he might win another UCL, he might win a few La Ligas, but like if he won them with like Thibaut Courtois, who cares? Like who cares? Like he could have at the end of his career, he could have one Champions League medal for Liverpool, and he could have five with Real Madrid, where he won it with like Thibaut Courtois. Who cares about Thibaut Courtois? Where he won it with Mbappe, who was giving him grief in the locker room. Like he's not gonna care about those ones as much as the Liverpool ones, I think. Um, I mean, you see it all the time. You see, like even players who didn't win as much, like Torres, for example. Torres always said he got a lot more love from the Liverpool side compared with the Chelsea side. But I think you have that arrogance to a certain degree. But yeah, I'm fairly sure he's gonna flop. And I'm not saying that from a bitter perspective. Like if it was a McAllister, I'll say no. I think he's gonna do well. Um, United fans don't look at him as a legend. Yeah, Michael Owen. I think what annoys Michael Owen is that nobody looks at him as a legend, and nobody like wants to take ownership of him. Like Sammy Hippier, Liverpool fans say he's ours. Dirk Kuyt, Liverpool fans say he's ours. Feyenoord fans say he's ours. Um, Whereas with Michael Owen, nobody says that. Everyone's like, yeah, you have him. We don't want him. Momo Sissoko. Sacco could easily be invited. The fact that he had to join a much superior team to win stuff should tell you everything. His own fault. He could have stayed. I love Sami Hyypiä, my centre back. Yeah, top, very good defender. I still remember we signed him from Willem Twey. Was it Willem Twey? 3.5 million. 3.5 million was a lot back in the day, but he more than paid it back. I still remember his volley against Juventus in 2005. The was it semi-final or quarter-final from the cross? I think he might have gotten the first goal, but yeah, your Finnish neighbour, yeah, yeah, good player. He was there as well on Saturday. He was there. His hair, he's dyed his hair darker now, but yeah, he was still looked very fit, to be honest. Sami Hyypiä. Oh, nice through ball by Yamal. Surely, through ball by Yamal, and Pau Victor had a one-on-one, but he just couldn't get it in. He tried to play it along the floor, but the keeper got down very quickly. Unfortunate. Yeah, he tried to play it through the keeper's legs, but he hit it onto the keeper's leg. Yamal with the cross in, or 3-0's probably a fair scoreline. they might get one more, but 3-0 is probably fair. Update scoreline. That's a good point. That's a good point. When I'm ranting about Trent, it's very hard. There you go. Yeah, Barcelona just kind of seeing the game out now. Trying to see when the Liverpool game is. I think it's like, is it like Tuesday? Oh God, there's no Liverpool game on the weekend. That's a bit rubbish. Liverpool game's on Wednesday. We're still like a week away. I don't even know why we are ranting about him. Why would we give our time? Yeah, I think somebody asked I think Gamer Cal asked a question earlier, but yeah, I think we've given Trent enough of our time now. I should pin a message. I think I can pin a message in the chat about what we think about Trent. We should just do the same as we did to McManaman and Owen. Yeah, I think that's what will end up happening from kind of most people. Osasuna try and clear it, but Osasuna pass it straight to Lewandowski. Passes it to Gavi. Oh, nice pass to Victor. Another corner. Give the Japanese samurai the forgotten 66 mural. Yeah, we can put I'm just a lad from Yokohama whose dreams have come true. Yeah, I do wonder. I do wonder. Barcelona almost just scored from a corner, but I do wonder how long that mural will be up. That's the one as well that in some ways is kind of people seem to take the most photos in front of. There's like a really nice like Firmino mural of like his face, which is really nice. There's like a Salah one. There's like a Robbie Fowler one. I'm surprised there's not a Gerrard one, to be honest, because I don't remember a Gerrard one. But yeah, the Trent one. There's a Jan Mulvey one, which is next to the Trent one, I think. There's a Jordan Henderson one, but yeah. I want a Maka mural. Yeah, he's deserving of one, I think. What's your thoughts of McAllister becoming the vice captain after the forgotten right back leaving? Um, Good. I think it's a good suggestion. He's definitely kind of one of the candidates. I think he's shown a lot of kind of leadership, and I think he's shown a lot of kind of maturity for his age. And I think also like he's in that middle bracket age wise, which means I think he'll be able to relate to the younger players and also relate to the older players. I think sometimes when the captain is too old, you lose that connection to the younger players. Um, so I think that would be an advantage to McAllister, either him or Ali. I like Allison as well. Me generally, I prefer it when captains are like outfield players, because I think with Allison, like he's so far back, like because he's in the goal. I prefer like I prefer I prefer I prefer the vice captain to be an outfield player. Um, who would you give the vice captaincy to? I think McAllister is an option. I think Salah is an option. Robertson would be an option, but I think after the season he's had, probably not. And I think given that he's probably going to be going soon, it's not a good idea. Um, I'd probably be leaning towards McAllister. Let me just double check. I mean, Kanate is another option. Um, but again, there's concerns about whether Kanate will be here for much longer, because Kanate's contract is rolling down. What about Gravenberch? Probably not yet Gravenberch, because I think Gravenberch is still quite young. Maybe in the future. I think Szoboszlai would be an option. Because Szoboszlai is Hungary's captain, so he's got that leadership experience. So I'd say Szoboszlai, McAllister, possibly Gakpo. Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gakpo, Salah. One of those, I think. Would you put Gravenberch as vice captain if McAllister becomes the captain? All right. So you're presuming if Van Dijk leaves. Probably not immediately, because I think Gravenberch is a bit too young. What's his age? Oh, you're thinking about after Van Dijk. Oh, right. Okay. Well, after Van Dijk leaves, Gravenberch will be a bit older then. Um, so it's a possibility. Let's say we give vice captaincy to McAllister now, and in a few. So, should you mean like give him the vice captaincy now, and then in a few years when Van Dijk leaves, he becomes the captain? That could work. That could work quite well. Yeah, I think 3 years from now, um, Gravenberch Gravenberch would be a good option. I think Szoboszlai is another good option because he is Hungary's captain. Um, I think Gakpo is another good option because he used to be captain at PSV. Um, there's lots. The good thing about Liverpool, I think, is that the leadership group is quite big, and the leadership group is successful. So yeah, you can possibly give Gravenberch the vice captaincy band 3 years from now. Yeah, I mean 3 years from now. Yeah, Connor Bradley captain. Maybe eventually, maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. Yeah, I think I'm just looking at the squad. I think we've covered all the possibilities. Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he is the Northern Ireland captain. How old is he? Because I swear he looks about 14, but he must be about 20, right? Yeah, he's 21. He's 21, soon to be 22. That's impressive, um, being the national team captain at 21. I mean, fair play. It's a team full of captains. Yeah, I'll double check. Connor Bradley. It says he captained Ireland for the first time in October. I don't know if that means like he's the permanent captain, if you know what I mean. I mean, yeah, when I Google who is Northern Ireland captain, it says Connor Bradley. So fair play to Connor Bradley. Yeah, I thought like he might have just stepped in for like one game or something if someone was injured, but it looks like he's the captain. So you're right. There's another captain there in the team. Endo is another one. Yeah, it's it's literally a team full of captains, which is which is kind of funny. But yeah, that means that there's a lot to choose from. There's a lot of options. Is Kelleher Northern Ireland or Republic of Ireland? Kelleher is Republic of Ireland. The captain is Seamus Coleman. Is he still at Everton? Yeah, Everton guy. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to think about kind of who the next captain can be. So Barcelona 3-0. Barcelona are now joint first with Real Madrid, and both are on kind of 60 points. Decent game that. Decent game. 3-0. I'd take a 3-0. So that's that game done. Let's see when the next games are. Konate would be a good option. Like he captain. Yeah, I think Diaz as well. I think Diaz also might be a captain. Let me double check. Konate, I know he captained. Like he's not the permanent captain, but he did captain France in a recent game. So it says Colombia football captain. Yeah, Salah's definitely the captain for Egypt. James Rodriguez is apparently the Colombia captain. I didn't know he's still around. Apparently he's 33. James Rodriguez. I thought he was like 50 years old by now. Yeah, if I check France captain, it's Kylian Mbappe apparently. Yeah, so Mbappe is captain for France. You think he might be vice captain? Yeah, there was that game a few months ago where Konate was giving that leadership speech. Okay, so the captain is Kylian Mbappe. The vice captain is actually Griezmann, so Antoine Griezmann. But for that last game, both Mbappe and Griezmann were missing, which is why Konate captained. But I thought he did a good job. He was really like rallying the troops up, getting them ready. So I thought he did pretty good. Ah, but yeah, good result for Barcelona. In terms of the next game, then, let me have a quick look. It's probably going to be Tuesday. Nottingham Forest versus Man United. Purely because I want to see Man United get battered. So it will be a funny hate watch. Kanate is used to Van Dijk, so of course that's a daily thing. I could see Kanate becoming the vice captain or even the captain for France. Yes, 100%. I think he could become the full captain for France. He definitely has kind of leadership capability. He definitely has leadership quality. He's got everything you'd want in a captain. Like he gets on with people, which I think is important to be a captain, but equally he's not afraid to kind of call them out. So yeah, Kanate is a captain in the making. But yeah, I shall be back on, if I can get this up. Just checking the fixtures. Thanks for streaming. No worries. Trying my best. We're doing any FA Cup this weekend. FA Cup's not. I was looking in the wrong place. That's why it wasn't coming up. In terms of FA Cup, probably Bournemouth, Man City. That seems like a good option. Possibly Brighton, Nottingham Forest. So Brighton, Nottingham Forest. That's on Saturday. So I think that's a good one. Yeah, I agree. So Forest, Brighton, Saturday, 5:15. That will be the next one. Cool. Nice. Well, thank you as always, everyone keeping me company and keeping me sane. Hope you guys have a nice evening and hopefully see some of you guys on Saturday for Brighton versus Nottingham Forest. What time is it? And is Bournemouth game? I don't think so. No. So Brighton Nottingham Forest is Saturday, 5:15, whereas Bournemouth Man City is Sunday at 4:30. So different days, thankfully. Different days. So you're doing both? I'll try. Well, I'll try my best. I don't think I'm going anywhere this weekend. I think I'll be at home, so it's possible. I'll definitely do the Saturday, Brighton Nottingham Forest, and then I'll see how I feel if I'm able to do the Sunday. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Saturday. But yeah, I've also ordered like another Liverpool shirt, but it's gonna take a while to come. So yeah, that should be exciting. But yeah, cool. All right, see you guys Saturday. Hope you have a nice evening, and yeah, all the best. Thank you as always. Take care.